Hey guys, welcome to my first YouTube video. My name's Ty Lindemann. I'm known as TL Resell on Instagram and I guess now on YouTube. I focus primarily on selling used shoes. I buy them at thrift stores, take them home, clean them up, and then list them on Poshmark, Mercari, Facebook Marketplace. Let's not talk about eBay. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys 32 pairs that I sourced over my Christmas break. I'm going to be breaking down what I paid for them and how much I expect them to sell for. Hopefully you guys can learn some new brands, learn some new tips for when you're outsourcing for your own store. Let's get into it. So our first two pairs are some of my favorites to sell. These are Timberland Boots, and this style of Timberland boot always sells really fast for me. The size doesn't really matter with these. You just want to check for condition, and obviously these are in great condition. This pair was $3.50 because they're kid size, and I believe that's how much they are at Goodwill. And this pair was free because my cousin, he has an eBay store and he doesn't like selling shoes as much as I do, and he has had these listed forever. But I think I can sell them really fast. I should be able to sell this kids pair for about 40 bucks and this smaller size adult pair for about 45, 50 bucks. All right, so now we have these Asics. They're the Gel Quantum 360s. This is like one of my favorite types of Asics to sell. They have this gel all over the bottom. The gel is like the big selling point with Asics, like Gel Kayanos, Gel Nimbuses, those all sell really well. I think I should be able to get about 40 bucks for these. They're in kind of worn condition, but this style is extremely sought after, and these were $5. Up next we have these Allbirds. I believe this style is called the Tree Skipper. I found these in women's before, but these were actually a men's. They were at a thrift store that had some really expensive prices. They actually had 3 pairs of these, but 2 of the pairs were priced at $25 and these were like $4. So I thought that was strange. Just about all Allbirds sell well. You just want to check for condition, no rips or tears, no scuffs, anything like that. And these should sell for 35 to 40 bucks. All right, so these next 2 pairs are Alukays. I actually slept on this brand for a long time, and then I recently found out that they can sell for 35 to 40 bucks, and it feels like ever since I found out that they have value, I don't find them anymore. These are the same size, and I found them in the same store, so probably donated by the same person. With Alukays, the main thing you want to look out for is when you twist, you want to make sure that there's no dry rot, that there's no cracking, anything like that. I paid $5 a pair for these, and they should sell for 35, 40 bucks a pair. So up next we have these Merrells. They have Vibram soles. Some people say Vibram soles. I don't know which one it is. These were actually in the kids section, so that's a little trick for you because these are a women's 6 or a women's 6.5. Yeah, a women's 6.5. But because they're small, they threw them in the kids section, which makes them like $3.50. Most Merrells will have the style name in the tag. These ones don't, but I'll just put Google Lens on them, get a style name for them, and they should sell for 35 to 40 bucks. Up next, we have these Brooks Glycerin 19s. These were actually really surprising to find because I find the Brooks Glycerin 14s all the time, and I don't pick them up anymore because they sell super slow, because they're a really old style. But like, why haven't I found any of the in-between numbers? I just find 14 and 19. Anyways, great condition on the bottom. They have a few scuffs on the side of the sole, but that's really common with Brooks, and they're a great size at a women's 9. These were $5, and I think I should be able to sell them for like 60 plus. Okay, so up next we have this pair of New Balance Minimus. Minimus is a great model of New Balance to look out for. They're really minimal. They have a really thin sole. These also have Vibram soles. These are actually a pretty big women's size. They're a women's 12, which some people might avoid, but I like selling the rarer sizes. I kind of feel like they sell faster for me. I actually paid up $14 for these. I don't really know why. I guess like if you average them out, I pay $5 for a lot, and then I pay $14 for one pair. I should be able to get about $35 to $40 for these. Okay, so these next 3 pairs, I really paid up for them. They were at that same store that had the Allbirds for $25. So I got 3 different pairs of Ferragamo men's dress shoes. They're all a really good size at a men's 12. I've actually only found Ferragamo before in heels, and those seem to sell kind of slow. I have 2 pairs listed and neither of them have sold. But when I looked at the comps for the men's dress shoes, they were pretty good. It looked like I could get anywhere from 60 to 120 for them. Since I paid 20 a pair, I'm probably gonna list them high. It's a high buy cost, but pretty low risk, and we'll see how they sell. All right, so this next pair was a brand I've never heard of. I think it's called G4. I'm gonna put the name and the logo right here so that you guys can look out for it. They have no insoles, but other than that, they're in really good condition. Comps on these were like $100, so I'm gonna shoot for 80 since I don't have the insoles. Those were also $5. Up next, we have these Salomons. Salomon is a brand that I find pretty rarely, and I've never found Salomon sandals before. They're kind of out of season, but it's hard to pass up on Salomons. These are a men's 11.5, which is a great size. The tread's in really good condition, and I think I should be able to get 40, 45 bucks for them. Next up, we have these Asics. They're the men's Gel Elevate 2. They have lots of gel in there. Like I said, look out for the gel. The Asics people love gel. The tread's in really good shape. With Asics, I always really look at the tread. Any running shoes, you want to make sure that you have really good tread left. I paid $5 for these, and I should be able to get about 35 bucks for them. Next up, we have these Hokas. They're a really old model, Bondi 3. If you sell shoes, you know that Hoka is a really good brand and a hard brand to pass up. They have really good tread. Few issues though, they're pretty scuffed on the front, and they have no insoles. So I'm just gonna shoot for like 30, 35 bucks with these. Next up, we have these Ultra Escalantes. I think that's how you say it. Ultra is a really, really good running shoe brand to look out for. I usually find them in horrible condition, but these were in great condition. They have like no dirt on them. I haven't even cleaned them. They're a really good size, men's 10.5. And so I did pay up for them. They were 12 bucks. I should be able to get 50 to 60 bucks for these. Next up, we have these. I've never heard of this exact model before. They're the Skechers Shape Ups toners. I've sold the Shape Ups in the past, but never the toners. I haven't even looked up comps for these, but my cousin gave me them for free, so I can't really lose. I'll show comps on the screen. My guess is about 30 bucks. They're in pretty good shape. I paid nothing for them, so if I can sell them for anything, I win. Next up, we have this pair of Dansko Sandals. Dansko is a great brand. I hardly ever pass them up. Almost every style of them sells super well. They're in European sizes, so I usually just Google like a Dansko conversion chart. When it comes to Danskos, I usually get out the Google Lens app and take a picture of them, and it can usually tell you what style they are, and that's the best way to get specific comps on them. Up next, we have these Brooks Levitate 3s. These were $2 at the Goodwill bins. Even when they're out of focus, I think you can tell that the tread is good. I rarely ever find Brooks this new and this nice, especially not at the Goodwill bins. If you don't know, the Goodwill bins is a place where Goodwill items go to die, and you can sort through it, and you pay by the pound. So you pay like $1.50 a pound for shoes. So I found these there. I rounded up to $2, and I would pay like 15 bucks for these. Brooks is a great brand, but I usually pass up on the older models, and this is a really new model, so I was super stoked to find these. I think the comps were close to 80 for these, so I should be able to get around 80 for these. Up next, we have a pair of New Balance Fresh Foam Arishis. New Balance is a brand that sells pretty well for me, especially the Fresh Foams. This pair specifically stood out to me because they're like a red suede, and with shoes, you want to look for stuff that's different. They're in super good condition. A lot of times suede can be really messed up, and they also have really good tread left. I should be able to get 35 to 40 bucks for these, and they were only $5. Again, Asics with gel, great sellers. These should go for about 40 bucks. I paid $5. What's different about this pair of Asics is it seems to be a more generic model, so it doesn't say the model on them like most of them do, like the Gel Elevate 2s or whatever. So I got out the Google Lens app for these, and that's how I got the model. I just don't really remember what it was. But then I typed that into Poshmark and saw that the comps were like 40 bucks. So paid $5 for these, should sell for 40 bucks. Next up, we have this pair of Bionic Wedge sandals. Bionic's a really good brand, a really good seller. Every pair of Bionics looks different. Every single pair. The only way to tell is by looking at the bottom and looking at this tread and the Bionic logo on the bottom. I paid $5 for these, should be able to get about 40 for them. Next up, we have these Keen sandals. They're a kid size, so they were only $3.50. They have really good tread left, And with Keens, I always make sure that the size is still legible. I do that on every pair, but a lot of times when you find Keens, the size has been rubbed off, especially in this model. And if you don't know the size, you can't sell the shoes. I should be able to get 30 to 35 bucks for these. So at first I bought these for myself because I thought that I could wear them. Turns out they're a little too big. These are some Nike Air Force Ones. They're not just your basic white model. They have this brown on the bottom, which I think looks really cool. I paid $18 for these, and I think I can get 60 minimum for these, probably more than that. Up next, we have one of my favorite brands to sell. I say Ariat, but a lot of people say Ariat. I don't know. I'm just going to keep saying Ariat. They are kid size, but Ariat sell in any size. I think I had to pay $5 for these because I think the cashier thought they were a women's size, but that's fine with me. They're girls too, and they're in really good shape. You always just want to make sure that they're not torn on the heel. That can happen a lot with any type of boots. I should be able to get 40 to 45 bucks for these. Up next, we have this pair of Brooks. They're like obviously a really neat colorway. They're all green. Like, I think they might even be some sort of St. Patrick's Day themed Brooks. They're a newer model too. They're the Adrenaline 20s. Any Adrenalines above like 17 sell really well for me. Brooks, since they are running shoes, you really want to look at the tread, and these have excellent tread left. Again, I don't know how well you guys can see that, but they have really good tread. I paid $5 for these, and I should be able to get 45 plus for them. Up next, we have another pair of Air Force Ones. These are an all black color. They're a men's 8.5. These sell so fast for me on Poshmark. I paid $8 for these, and I should be able to get 45, 50 bucks for them. Up next, we have this pair of Alukays. A lot of people don't know about this brand. Always just look for that hook. A lot of Alukays have this back, I don't know what you would call it, the back wall of the shoe that folds down. The first time that I found them, I thought the heel was crushed, but they're all just made to sort of be like a mule and a shoe at the same time. All Alukays have the model on the size tag, which is really helpful to look them up. These were $5, and I should be able to get 35 to 40 bucks for them. Up next, we have a pair of Hey Dudes. I've only found these one other time, and they sold actually within 2 minutes. So I'm excited to list these. They should sell for like the same amount, and these were $4. So for our last pair, we have these Hoka Bondi 7s. These are a really good model of Hokas to be on the lookout for. The tread is kind of worn. If they were in perfect condition, I could sell them for like over 100 bucks. One thing I noticed about these is the insoles have been replaced. Just always keep an eye out for that. It usually doesn't change the value too much. You should just include it in the description. I think I should be able to get close to $80 for these because there was only one listing in this same size and a ton of solds. So that was my thrifting shoe haul for Christmas break. Sorry if it was a little awkward. It's kind of weird sitting here talking to a camera for the first time. I think I'm gonna warm up. I'm already getting a little bit more used to it. If you learned anything or have any thoughts about the shoes or this video or any changes I could make, please let me know. It would mean the world to me. I plan on uploading every week on this channel, so if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and let me know if you have any ideas for future videos. So with all that being said, I'll see you guys next week.